This is a warning to all Ecuadorians who plan to vote Gonzalez on April the 14th. If you are hearing this and you understand English, then I assume you know who Gonzalez is. I will tell you, she is not the person you think she is. First thing you should know is something that's probably been in the news a lot. That was far in the past, but she's basically a puppet of one of the former presidents. Of course, you would know that. And something you might not know is that she still just to pay her 900. I don't know if she still has to, but if she can't handle previous administrations, I wouldn't think she could handle this one, the next one, because they found her liable. They audited the president. They found her liable for nearly $900,000 in improper use of aircrafts. And overall, the Correa administration was found liable for $10 million for improper flights. She is very close with the former president, Correa. So let's look up Correa's past. Yeah, it's very even currently. The leader, let's see here. Yeah. He's not really a good person. You could call him a dictator. When people call him a dictator, he didn't respond well. He really is just not a likable guy at all. And if your future president is someone like Correa, or someone who acts like Correa, should that person be leading your country? I don't know if that's true. And second of all, it'll be your fault if prices rise, because if Gonzalez is elected president of Ecuador, 99 times out of 10, there will be tariffs placed on Ecuador. Trump is not kidding around with these tariffs. If you elect a person who does not like Trump, will probably get the short end of the stick and will probably suffer from economic dependence on China. And economic dependence is not a good thing at all. You want to have diversity in terms of how you invest money. Let's see. Others stance first. Of course, you can see. Yeah, mining future is at risk because she is more a socialist leaning. And of course, I wouldn't blame you for not liking Noboa, because Noboa, he's been overseeing the current administration. And the current administration has a lot of troubles, like a struggling economy, gang violence, all that stuff. And of course, I wouldn't ask you to blame him for it. Blame his predecessor, Guillermo, who shortly resigned. And, yeah. And, of course, I'm just looking over more of her stances. Oh yeah, people don't really have trust in her at all for the economy. Which, if you want an economy to grow, you have to have trust in your economy to grow. Kind of seems like something that that doesn't seem like it's true, but it is true. It seems like a fallacy, even though it's not a fallacy. Time and time again, you see untrustworthy people being untrusted, and therefore they lose more things. Let me put it to you this way: if a president is not good, is not trusted with the economy, then more people will not invest in that country, and especially in companies in that country. And of course, um, you need to have companies in that country get supported by other people. And if they can't do that, well, then the company just implodes. I'll put it to you this way. A say you have two people with different credit scores. If one person spends his entire allowance on, say, a house, will you give things to him? No, obviously not. So he'll continue to do badly, of course, unless he changes his life around. And if he changes his tune around, of course, the more successful person who has a higher credit score will more likely to get going ahead on life, right? That's the simplest way I could explain this. And of course, you see examples of this all over Latin America, where a socialist leader wins by barely a few votes. You see this in Mexico, even though you don't see the ripple effects yet in Mexico, because Mexico is a large country. They can depend on themselves for a while until it becomes an issue. So 2 election cycles, you don't see the collapse of Mexico. Why? Because they're a massive country. They can trade within each other. But that'll soon stop because of Scheissbaum, I like to call it that. And you go back to Venezuela, and of course people will deny that Venezuela is a socialist country and say that it's yada 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 corruption, even though it's that was caused by socialism under yeah, Chavez. I was like, is his last name really Chavez? I had to double check. And yeah, you could see this in Chavez. He was more of a socialist type. Led his revolution to Maduro. Basically, what happened? Maduro, well, just the socialist regime in general, took away everyone's guns, so they felt less safe, and then yada yada yada. More generally, the leftist revolution is just very bad. Economically, socially speaking, for an entire nation, for an entire society, and so I wouldn't want to elect her as the president. And of course, you have yeah, she's also for big spending, which won't surprise you to learn that causes inflation. Of course, the main I don't agree with many more. I mean, I am a libertarian, but like I don't agree with other libertarians. Like the only thing that causes inflation is government spending, because there are other things that cause inflation. I just think that the main thing that causes inflation, and the primary thing we should look out for, is government spending. And government spending is bad, and if you spend too much money, it causes inflation. So of course you have dollars circulating around, yada yada yada. Especially if you just invest most of that money into money printing like the US does. So not really the best thing to do there. What else? Have you before like the last election? I didn't really know that much about Ecuadorian politics. I'm still more clueless than I have a clue, but I've been learning more about this in the past 4 years because my stepfather is Ecuadorian. He has been voting in Ecuadorian elections since he has come. And of course, it's very important for Gonzalez not to be elected in Ecuador, because if you do, your country will fall to shit. If they think it's bad now, Gonzalez will make it like 10 times worse. I'm not joking when I say this. A leftist revolution in general will completely destroy a nation. You have examples of this, not yet in Bolivia, although that is soon happening. Basically, Argentina is riches to rags. Well, from rags to riches to rags to riches again. Speedrun. And currently Milei is in power, and so far the Argentinian economy is doing surprisingly well, considering he has invested a lot of money into Bitcoin and he lost most of it. I would say that is one thing Madam Milei did, and that's why I say don't trust your money with any government at all. That's why you never trust government, because the one thing they do best is ruin people's lives and spend more money. And if you have a person like Gonzalez who spends more money than her opponent, then that'll just cause your life to get worse. I actually don't know if are they like gun debates in Ecuador? I actually don't know. So I'll check. And also, she's probably not gonna even. Yeah. Not really a good person. What else is there? Yada 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 yada. Yeah, I wouldn't trust Gonzalez. I like Noboa. Noboa's okay. You could do better than Noboa, but I think leaving it up to a wild leftist rather than a somewhat reasonable, more libertarian-minded person is not a good thing, especially since he's more a centrist person than anything in general. Of course, you should probably think, the hell? I think I should stop this because my computer's about to restart in like a minute, so I will thank everyone for seeing you here, and hopefully I get news that I don't have autism. If I do, then that's just great. So see you guys.